So Facebook keeps changing their user interface and other things, and as usual, that leaves us trying to figure out how to do even the simplest of things. Stuff that worked yesterday stops working today. And if you are among those of us who thought that they had actually broken the share as your page feature, they didn't. They just made it harder. Thanks. So let's talk text about all the ways that you can share a Facebook post. And then we're going to also talk about how to fix that broken share as page option. Okay, here we go. Facebook, why do you hate us so? So, as I was saying, Facebook is constantly changing things up. And I mean, all platforms, all software applications, all services are all constantly trying to improve. They're always changing things up, trying to make things better. However, Facebook tends to have a consistent, we'll go with consistent, result of making things harder on us, confusing things, just making life more difficult. And in this case, once again, they made changes to the user interface. They keep, touting their new user experience, and it's not the best for most of us. And in this case, it's the share feature, which you would think they wouldn't mess with, or at least they would test the daylights out of before releasing, because they want us to stay on the platform and they want content shared so that more people are getting eyeballs on things so they can run more ads. Like, this one doesn't feel like it's in their best interest either. But basically, so there's a lot of different ways that you can share, and they've tried to add some new ones, I guess. They were always there. They were just a little harder to find. But the thing that's been really frustrating for a lot of people that I've been hearing a lot about is the fact that you used to be able to go in and share as page from pretty much anywhere and it would work. So that's like, so basically you have a profile in Facebook. Like, when you create a Facebook account, you get a profile. Like, that's where everybody starts. And then if you have a business or an organization or something that you want to, handle a little differently, then you can go and set up a page. Now, you can't have a page until you have a profile, but you can have a profile without a page. So if you're just doing it from your page, you're still okay, because that is all still working as expected. It's those of us who either have a page or multiple pages, or maybe moderate for clients or work with clients on their pages. That's where this gets a little muddy. So let's go ahead. We're going to work our way through this, and I will show you what we are talking about. Let me switch over to, let's go with this one. Actually, I'm sorry. Before I do that, I keep forgetting. So for those of you who are new here, my name is Kathleen. I'm here as your tech coach. The short version is I do tech as my day gig. I design software applications. This one's close to my heart, but it's also my hobby. So I tend to be the go-to person in my world when people need advice or suggestions or help fixing a problem. Not everybody has somebody like me around, so that's why I do this show every Thursday. And you are always welcome to go ahead and reach out. You can go to the website. If you have a question, if you need help, you can make an appointment. Or if you just have a topic you want me to cover, you can go ahead and do that there. Okay, now that's out of the way. Let's go ahead and do this. Actually, maybe let's do it this way. Let's go this way. Okay, because now I'm still here too. And we'll bring the topic up and we'll have all the things here. So I'm going to use this particular person's page, Stacy Higginbotham. If you're at all interested in IoT, the Internet of Things, I highly recommend her content. She has a podcast. She posts a lot of good stuff. She's got a newsletter. So if you're at all interested in this world, what's going on, where it's going, highly recommend it. And that's why I'm going to use her as an example. So I do share her stuff a lot. I share it on my personal profile. I share it on my Tech Coach page. So if I am in here and today, she had a really good piece about, insurance companies getting into, quote unquote, bed with the IoT companies and how that might all work out. It's fascinating stuff. I highly recommend you go check it out. So I wanted to share that. And so I finally did, but it took a little bit of extra steps. But since I've already done that, let's go to another one. Let's see. Oh, this is... Okay, so here's another good one, right? So, right, on-device learning, how IoT gets smarter, all that kind of stuff, smart assistant. So that's another, topic that she covers a lot. So let's say, I was looking at this and I'm like, you know what? I really want to share this with people. I think people will find this really interesting, and I really like Stacy. I want to support her. So, I come down here and, of course I would give it a like. Actually, I would do one of these. And let me move this up so you can see it. Okay, there we go. So let's say, okay, so I want to share it, right? And the share is right here, super easy. So I come in here and I say share, and here are all of my options. Can we see all the options? Let me scroll this up a little higher again. There we go. That's better. Okay. So your options are, you can share now, which just automatically takes this post and puts it onto your profile so that it shows up in the feed so that people who follow your feed will see this post. You can share it to another feed, which we'll talk about in a minute. You can send it via Messenger. So like if I wanted to share this with a friend of mine, I could send it to them in Messenger if we hung out on Messenger, which we don't. You can share it to a group. Now that is something you want to be careful about because not all groups allow or encourage that. So be careful about where you do it because you can get yourself kicked out of a group. You can share it using the business suite, which is an interesting choice to show here because technically a Facebook profile does not have the business suite. So I'd be curious I'll have to ask one of my friends who doesn't do business on Facebook to see if this option shows up for them, which would be confusing, or if it's only showing up for me because I do actually have pages. You can share it to a page, which is what we're going to talk about in a minute, and you can share it on a friend's profile. Again, this is something you want to be very careful about. Don't go spamming your friend's timeline. This to me is a strange choice to have out here, but okay, whatever. I mean, if you really wanted it to be, if you thought your friends would be interested in it, you could share it to your friend and let them make that decision. I don't know that it's okay to be sharing it on other people's things, but that's, your mileage may vary. That's my approach to life. All right, so like if I wanted to just share this right now onto my profile, all I have to do is click this and it's done. So that's super easy, no problem. But now since this is a techie thing, I'm going to want to share it maybe on your tech coach page. So normally what you would do is you would come here, you would click on share, and you would come down to share to page, right? And then you would select it. Now I have multiples here because like I said, I have clients as well. I'm going to share it to mine, and then everything looks good at this point, right? And I could go here and, I can put in a message. I would normally do something more interesting than this, but this is just for demo purposes because it doesn't matter. And you can choose to include the original post or not. So that's all of her text. So that's just the difference between showing her text here or not. So I usually do because, again, I'm trying to promote. But here's where the problem kicks in. You can't submit it. You see what's missing here? There's no button. There is nothing that says submit. There's no way to go anywhere with this. This is it. It's done. It won't go anywhere. So this be the problem. And for a while, I thought it was broken. I thought this is clearly a bug, and I reported it and everything. And then I started hearing from other people that were having the problem too. And I started to wonder if maybe that was not the case. And here's why. Let me show you why I started to get suspicious. Because I do this for a living, the little alarm bell started to go off in my head because this is not the only change that they've made. They've also changed how you switch your profile. You used to just, be able to come in here and select it and switch it, which you can do here. But you notice here it says you will switch into the page to continue. So they've actually changed it. Just like up here, you used to just be able to go up here, select your other account, like your page. You don't have multiple accounts. It's a different page. Let me be very specific here. I don't want to confuse people. So you used to be able to just come in here and select your page or whatever, or my client's page or whatever it is that I needed to work as to do things, but you can't do that anymore. So one way that you can do it is you can click on this little spinny thing up in the corner. And what this does is it flips you to the last other page, the last other setup that you used. Otherwise, you click here and have to select. So this is where, again, the alarm bells went off because I'm like, I wonder if this is just an incomplete and not well thought out implementation of this new profile switching. And that's exactly what it is. Let me show you how to make this actually work. So again, let me get this out of the way. Okay, so if I come in here and I say share to page and I select my page, it acts like it's going to share, but it won't let me do it. Okay, so there's no way for me to go ahead and send this to my page. What I have to do is come up here, switch my profile. Now, because I was just in this account, I can just switch to it. This is just a toggle. Otherwise, I'd have to select it from that list. I have to wait for it to refresh. then it throws me out of where I want to be. Super helpful, right? No. So it's thrown me out of where I wanted to be because they forced me to manually change. Now I have to go back and hope that I can still get to that page, which is okay when you're on somebody's page. That's why I did it this way, because if you're in your feed and you want to share something and you have to go through this process, you're going to lose that post. It's going to be gone because the feed is going to fill up with new stuff. So I suggest that if you get into this loop that I've been in, before you go and change it, actually open that post in another tab so you're going to be able to get back to it. So now that I'm actually switched over into my Tech Coach page, now if I come down and I find that same post again that she had, okay, so it's right here. Make sure it's up high enough so you can see it. Okay, and now if I say share, now I can share to public, I can share to feed, or I can share to community. So that whole share to page thing is now, in my book, it's still broken and it's useless. And either they need to throw it away or they need to give us a way to change to the profile we want to use for that. So, but now that I'm in this, I can go ahead and share it to my community, and it went. The message is a little slow coming back, but it actually did post now to my, oh, there it is. It's just out of range for you, but it did say share to your profile. So that's the extra step you have to go to. So that original thing that I showed you where it said share to a page, yeah, that's a lie. You can't do it that way. You have to do it this way if you want it to work. That said, there is another way to do it. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to switch back to my profile, right? My personal profile again. So we're back in this world. That's just the example one that I did before. So let's just go ahead and let's go back to Stacy. Fortunately, the back arrow thing seems to still work. No, it's not going to work now. Of course it's not going to work now because it's Facebook. Come on. Come on, Facebook. Come on. Go back to where I want you to go. Okay, it's not going to go back. So give me a second. Let me bring it up. But there is another way that you can do it from that other view. So that's why I'm putting you through this here. Okay. Go here. Going to bring us back. I'm going back to exactly the look that we had here. So let's go here. Okay, so this is where we were, right? So we're on Stacy's page, and we scroll down, and we want to pick another one. Now I'm going to pick a different one because I don't want to, well, I guess I can pick the same one. I can just remove it. All right, so here we are again. This is the post that we've been doing, right? So far I've sent it to my profile, which worked fine. It was just share and share now and good to go. When I want to do share to a page, instead of selecting share to a page, even though the option is here, what you're going to want to do, if you don't want to go through that process I just did, where you have to go in, change it, then go and find your post again, this is another option, which is share using the Meta Suite. They're trying to push everything into that. So now you're going to say, okay, you're going to share to a page. Who do you want to be? I want to be me this time. Sometimes I do post for clients if they ask. Then it's going to throw you into the Business Suite, where they're trying to throw a lot of things these days. And it's going to take a couple seconds to load. And by default, it's going to pick the page that you said you wanted to use. Okay, they get a point for that. You can also send it to your Instagram because they are desperate to get you to start using Facebook to do your Instagram posts. That's a choice you need to make. But now you can go ahead and you can post this here too and say something. Let me just put some text in here. Right, and then you could add more stuff to it. If you scroll down, you can see you've got other options here. So this would be on the Facebook, and then if you wanted to do Instagram, you would do that over here, and it will be this post. And then you can just come down here. Now you can go ahead and look for optimal times. All that. This is all stuff that's inside of the suite, which I'll do a whole other video on. But basically, that's how you would come in here. You hit publish. It's going to then send it to your page the way that you wanted to. And you didn't have to do that extra step of digging through and trying to find the post after it threw you out of the post. So maybe it's a slightly better thing for you. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the suite. I think that user interface is really complex and confusing, but it is a little bit smoother than switching profiles. Since if you change your profile, it throws you out of the page that you are looking at. I'm not sure how this is supposed to be helpful for anybody, but at least you do have two options. So hopefully that will make life easier for you. We'll just real quick go back and look in case you're curious about the other options. One sec, let me get this up here. Yeah, let's pick another one. Move that up. Okay, we'll bring this back. So if you're just curious about the other options, they are here. Now, let me show you what happens here, just so you're prepared. When you come in here, right? So if you're trying to be ahead of the game and you're like, oh, but Kathleen, I can click here and I can switch. Watch again what happens. This is going to do the same. Oh, hey, that changed. Okay, when I did this yesterday, it also threw me out of the page. So that is another way that you can be proactive about it. You can come in and do that here. I'll bet if I switch it, let's see if it goes back. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay, so they keep changing things, and it could just be a matter of me hitting a different server last night, which might be why that didn't work then. Oh, but that's cute. It doesn't give you a way to change it back from there. So it's a one-way door. You can do it once, but you can't undo it. So I'm going to have to go back and do this again and lose my page again. I don't know why they think this is what I want. The logic behind this escapes. But okay, that's fine. So that's now a third way. So there you go. You got a bonus third way. So leaving everything here, if you just come in and you do the share, if you shared a feed, what this is, that you can build out special lists. And so you can say, only send it to my friends, show friends, accept certain people. You can build out specific lists. So that's always an option. I don't know how many people actually use this anymore, but yeah, okay, that's fine. Boy, they really lock you in. Let me move this up again so you can see everything. I'm just going to run it through. So Messenger, would just open it in Messenger. I'm not going to do that because the people in my Messenger did not volunteer to be on my show today. Share to a group is going to show all of your groups. Like I said, be very, very careful about doing this. A lot of groups get very angry about that. So I would not recommend doing that unless you are 100% sure. We just did this Business Suite thing. We show that. And then sharing on a friend's profile, I'm also not going to show because, hey, my friends did not volunteer to be on here. But that would just give you the list of friends to show on. But again, be very careful. Make sure that that's okay. Like, if you have an agreement with your friend, and that's fine, but don't just do it. I would say, this is a case for getting permission instead of forgiveness because you don't want to piss somebody off. So there you go. That is what I have for you today. It's going to be a short one with everything that's going on. I almost didn't stream tonight, but, okay. I did want to get this information out there. So you ended up with a bonus. I knew we would do two. It turns out that the third one is now working as well. So you do have different options. If you find a different option, please, please, please let me know because these things are always changing. And the more we can share this information, the better it is for everybody. As always, if you are looking for help with your content ideas, I do have that free PDF. Go to yourtechcoach.com/content ideas. It's free. It's a PDF. It's 130 generic ideas that will help you get over that writer's block moment that we all run into. So please don't feel, don't be shy. Just go ahead and go grab it. And like I said, if you have questions, if you have comments, if you have a topic you want me to cover, go ahead and reach out, yourtechcoach.com. I do have a contact form on there. If you want to go ahead and let me know there, that would totally be fine. Or if you want help with something, or if you want somebody to remote produce for you, you can go ahead and set up an appointment and we can talk about that. All right. Oh, good. I'm glad that was helpful, Stuart. Yeah, I was getting to the point where, at first I thought, oh, this wasn't that important. But then, in the past 2 weeks, I've had a lot of people asking about it. So I figured it was time to go ahead and share what I knew. And evidently, they are still working on it because as of today, there's a new option. So there you go. So I'm glad that was helpful. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. I hope you're doing well, and we will talk again next week. I'm here every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I always bring a topic. You're always welcome to come and jump into the chat and hang out. And if you have other questions, I will answer those. If you are watching this on replay, go ahead and comment, and I will get back to you just as soon as I can. Thanks so much. We will talk soon. Bye.